Hey guys, what's going on? It's Brandon, just driving around here. So real quick, here's what it all boils down to. Check engine lights basically appear on dashes to try to prevent people from getting into a very unsafe situation, because if your engine blows up, it can start your car on fire. On front engine cars, it can take out your steering rack, things like that, oil all over your back tires, and the oil comes out from the engine. So basically, it's a safety issue. That's why we have check engine lights. There's different severities of check engine lights, but I think it goes without saying that if your engine's undergoing detonation, that constitutes a check engine light more than any other situation. Okay? Like on the severity of things that are going to keep your check engine light illuminated, detonation should be number one. It should keep your engine light illuminated the most amount of time, as well as detonation should not be erased from your memory banks of your computer on its own accord. The car should not delete those codes from the computer. So the second reason why we have check engine lights is because when we, the consumer, invest X amount of dollars into a vehicle, we want to make sure that we don't self-destruct our vehicle. So we need to have check engine lights to tell us when the vehicle is undergoing self-destruction so that we can stop it. Okay, so that we can stop driving the vehicle. So, really long story short, I've gathered ample evidence. And I'm going to hold off on sharing all of that quite yet, because I'm trying to just figure out here what in the world General Motors is even doing on the motor on my end, on my Z06, the engine on my Z06. So we're just gonna kind of chill here for a little bit and see what it is that GM is up to. But guys, this is a big deal. Like, this is like Dieselgate stuff. This is gonna result in stop sales, I believe. I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. I think that there's a lot on the line. A lot at stake for General Motors based on the check engine light strategy or lack thereof, but it's definitely a strategy, because there's still check engine lights for certain things, but just not all things, if that makes sense. So I think that it's going to get interesting what happens. And so you've got the highest mileage Z06 owner right here. I drove 55,000 miles in my second car and 32,000 miles in my first car, and then also have owned two other cars that I also put miles on, but minimal miles compared to those two. So hindsight, looking back, the strategy existed on the first car as well. I just didn't realize what it is that I was seeing, what it is that I was observing. So the severity of the situation, I guess you'd say. So anyhow, just figured I would mention that to you guys, and hope you're well. And really, that's okay. So a lot of people are maybe kind of confused, because they're like, okay, when the oil raises, does that throw a check engine light? No. Are there any codes in the computer when the oil raises? No, not necessarily. Does detonation cause the oil to raise? Perhaps. Does bad gasoline cause the oil to raise? We believe so. Does the bad gasoline, is it as bad as gasoline that you would see cause, like, let's put it this way, in simple terms, the gasoline that we're saying is bad gasoline for the C8 Z06, it wouldn't cause other cars any trouble at all. So the C8 Z06 is more sensitive to gasoline irregularities than any other car in car history, basically, is what it boils down to. So General Motors has a situation where the Z06s are raising their oil, which causes catastrophic engine failure, and they're doing so on gasoline, which would not cause other cars any trouble, and they're doing so by not throwing any check engine lights as it occurs. Now, does the Z06 endure detonation as it splits the fuel, okay, at the fork? The fuel fork is the key to this whole thing. The two high side pumps and the single low side pump, the fork, the actual device that forks the fuel or tees the fuel two different ways, that is actually the whole issue here. You can have 2 high side pumps, but you need 2 low side pumps. But the point is, the fork is causing 2 different substances to go to the 2 different engine banks. You have water ethanol on one side and you have pure gasoline on the other. And that may result in detonation, which General Motors is cloaking by not having the check engine lights throw when that detonation occurs. So I want to be clear. The oil raising is one absolute reason why your engine would self-destruct. If the oil gets too high, it's a big deal. The detonation that occurs from the slightest impurities in gasoline also causes your engine to self-destruct. There's no way for your engine to detect. It doesn't have a sensor that can detect the high oil level. So there's no check engine light that can be thrown for that because GM is too cheap to put an oil level sensor in the vehicle. Because again, GM wants to keep it secret that the vehicle has this trouble. And they want to blame it on you, the consumer, and they tell you that you are supposed to check your oil level after every gas fill up, which is a first for vehicles. That's never existed before for automobiles here on planet Earth. Check your oil after every gas fill up. That's the rule for the C8 Z06. Hopefully you guys are understanding what I'm saying. It's a very out-of-the-box, complex situation, but at the end of the day, this is Dieselgate 2.0 in my opinion. It's very similar. It's a situation where the car's programming is not as it should be. Okay? That's it. That's all. It's not a standard computer program for a car, okay? It's just not even close, remotely close to a standard computer program for a car. All right. Guys had a street sign as their driveway. Wonder how many weirdos pull in their driveway thinking it's a street. Anyway, that's all I got. It's happening to other cars. It's not just happening to mine. It happens to brand new cars and PDI. It happens to other cars, guys. When we say regular gasoline, we're not talking about 87 octane. We're talking about 93 octane. We're just saying when you go to the gas station and get regular fuel that would make other cars run just fine, 93 octane that would make other cars run just fine, the C8 Z06 doesn't always run just fine. It has a fuel fork, and that fuel fork is separating the 2 kinds of gasoline almost perfectly, and that almost perfect separation is causing this situation to exist that I'm explaining. Okay? So, anyway, hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you guys are keeping up. And, I'd never heard anything like this before. There's never been anything like this before. Why hasn't anyone else explained this to me? Because you're on a planet with a bunch of dumb motherfuckers. And as dumb as you guys want to pretend that I am, apparently I'm the smartest motherfucking YouTuber you know when it comes to C8 Z06s. So if I'm stupid, what's everybody else? If I'm stupid, what's Justin at Horsepower Obsessed, who's owned 2 of these cars and hasn't noticed that there's a problem? What's Rick Conti? What is Speed Phenom? What is Amelia? If I'm stupid, what are all these other people who don't even notice the problem and don't even notice that the oil level changes radically? Who probably don't check their oil every gas fill up, so they don't notice. They don't notice that one minute it'll consume oil, and then the next minute it'll raise oil. And you're like, well, maybe you added the oil, Brandon, that's why it raised. No, guys. There's been cars, including mine, that have just raised up tremendously when I have not added oil. I'm still on the original oil change from the dealer, and the car raises the oil tremendously. My cars have undergone detonation without raising the oil. Okay, everything is on the table here. Everything's possible. See ya.